Hello, everybody, and welcome into another exclusive interview presented by Garnet Trust. I'm Kendall Smith, joined alongside of Andrew Eyster of the South Carolina baseball team. Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, Kendall. Coming off kind of a rough weekend, but I'm doing as good as you can on a beautiful Monday afternoon. So everything's good.
Right. I guess the good part about this is that it is officially baseball weather, right? So we are in
Yes.
full springtime here in South Carolina. It's been gorgeous. And like you said, this past weekend didn't go exactly how South Carolina would have wanted it to go, dropping the series against Auburn on the road. And that kind of brings me into my first question. So we've seen a lot of sides of the South Carolina baseball team this year. We've seen you guys against Vanderbilt and against Ole Miss and Texas, and just so successful in those series. And then we've seen series like we saw this last weekend against Auburn. So what do you think, Andrew, is the difference between those two versions of the team that we've seen throughout the year?
Yeah, I mean, we play our best baseball at home and have really struggled on the road, and I'm not exactly sure what the rhyme or reason for that is. Obviously, I enjoy playing at home more, and I think everyone does, but I don't think that should necessarily affect the way we play. But playing in front of the home crowd is awesome, and having that energy behind us, it helps us as a team for sure, and helps our energy and keeps us up. But like I said, at the same time, you wouldn't think that would really affect the way we play on the road, not having that, but for some reason this season we've really played well at home in front of the home crowd, and then when we go away, we struggled, and we got to figure out why we're doing that, and quickly figure that out. Because we only got 4 weeks left in the regular season, so and two of those being away series, so that's something we gotta get on top of and figure out for the rest of the season.
Well, back at home this weekend against Alabama, and as a leader of the team, Andrew, as someone who's been around for a while, who's older, how do you motivate? How do you kind of keep people on the team pushing through this adversity and kind of inspire them to just keep going even in the midst of hardship like this past weekend?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're still in it. Anything can happen, and it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities for us to go on a hot streak and put up a lot of wins these last few weeks, and again, we know we can do it. We know what kind of baseball we can play when we play at that level. So and everyone on the team knows that, and no one's freaking out, worried about the position we're in right now, because there's always a time for us to play our best baseball, and so hopefully we can scratch things out at the end and do that these last 4 weeks.
On a bit more of a positive note, give me something that you're proud of in your play so far this season, and then something you're proud of in terms of the team's play this season.
Yeah, I mean, personally, it's been a struggle these last few weeks, but anytime that I can impact the game in a positive way is a good thing for me. Whether that's getting on base and scoring, or driving in runs, or making plays on defense. And I feel like every game I've done something that impacts the game positively, and some games more than others. Some games it's one or two things, and but at the end of the day, that's what matters. And if I can help the team in some way or another, that's what I'm focused on. And then as far as a collective group, I'm just proud of seeing all these young guys who have stepped up and really shown that they can pull. And most teams don't have, I feel, don't have this many freshmen that get this amount of playing time as some of the guys that we've got, like Evan Stone, Carson Hornung, and you see obviously Braswell and guys like Lambros, so even who've had more limited time. But I'm kind of excited for the future, next year or two of South Carolina baseball, because we've got really talented young group, and seeing them, how they've grown and stepped up in big situations so far this year. It makes me proud as an older guy to see things like that.
Well, Andrew, you've had a really long and interesting baseball journey up into this point, and I kind of want to talk about that during this interview and bring it back to the beginning and talk about what you've experienced and what you've gone through to get you to this point, which is kind of, getting, towards the end of your time at South Carolina and then baseball beyond that. So I want to take it back to the beginning. How did you get into baseball initially? How old were you, and who kind of inspired you to do it?
Yeah, so what my parents' theory is that it was from watching my older sister. So my older sister's 13 years older than me, so I was a baby watching her play high school softball, and I eventually went to the same school. I have faint memories, very very faint memories of watching her play. Nothing that's super vivid anymore, but I think from just watching her play and watching her catch a ball and swing a bat, and I emulated that from when I was a little kid. I think that's kind of what got me into baseball. And when I was younger, I could, anytime that there was something that looked like that resembled a bat, whether it was a stick or a piece of plastic, piece of metal, something like that, I was always swinging it and finding something to hit with it. So I think that was kind of the inspiration for me wanting to play baseball, was just growing up watching her play softball.
This is kind of a random question and off topic a little bit, but you mentioned swinging a bat. I have to know if you play golf. And if you do play golf, I know that a lot of baseball players say that like golf swings will kind of affect the way that they swing a bat. So has that ever been a thing in your life, or is golf not really something that you partake in?
No, I started playing golf at a young age, and I never got too into it, never played too much. But definitely when I'm done playing baseball, I'm gonna start playing a lot more golf. But I always heard that growing up, that as a baseball player, you don't want to play too much golf because it'll mess up your swing. And I used to believe that when I was younger, and who knows if that's true or not. I don't think it really is. It's just I've swung a bat for so long that it's just part of my muscle memory now. And even if I play a couple rounds of golf, I think I can get back in the get back in the box and swing a baseball bat fine. But no, golf is fun, and I'm excited to play more whenever I get some time.
Yeah, no, my brother, he just finished playing college baseball last year, and he has done nothing but play golf since.
Yeah.
Like, all I want to do is play golf. He's retired now, he says, so that's literally all he does. It seems to be kind of a common theme. And now him and all of his old college baseball guys, they go on like golf trips every year. It's a big thing. So I guess, baseball players like to golf. It's a thing.
Yeah, and you can't relax and have a couple of drinks when you're playing a baseball game, but you can do that when you're playing golf.
Exactly. A huge perk for sure. If you didn't play baseball, do you think that you would have played another sport growing up, and what would that sport have been?
That's a tough one, I honestly probably would say golf. I never played football, never played basketball. My shot's broke. I cannot for the life of me shoot that basketball in that hoop. I would have to say golf, honestly. Like I said, I've always enjoyed playing it. Just never got to that much because of baseball. But that's about the only kind of sport or activity or game that I ever, really did besides baseball. Baseball was always took up the majority of my life growing up, and so sorry for the boring answer, but probably golf.
You know what? As long as it's honest, that's all that matters. And
Yeah.
you're from Florida, so
Yes.
Florida is a hot spot for baseball. Anybody who doesn't know, there's a lot of tournaments that happen down in Florida. So when you were growing up, when you were playing baseball and getting recruited to play in college, what were some of those favorite spots that you went to with your travel team over summers to play baseball at?
Yeah, I loved going to Fort Myers. And that's a spot where we count on going 2-3 times during the summer. And I got to go there. That's also where they held the state championships for high school baseball, and so I got to go there a couple times as well. And I have great memories going there with a lot of my high school teammates. We played on the same travel team, and we'd always stay at the same hotel. I remember it was a Hampton Inn, a big Hampton Inn, it was right on this little pond, and we'd always go over there and fish on this little pond. and I probably stayed at the hotel 10 times. But I have great memories of, like I said, guys I grew up with, guys I went to high school with, and you could, every time we go to Fort Myers, you count on getting a couple games canceled because of lightning and thunderstorms. If you know anything about Florida, and during the summer you got the same thunderstorm about 4 or 5 o'clock every single day, and so you can pretty much count on that happening every day. So, but yeah, I love it down in that area. You go a little north, you got some cool areas, Siesta Key and Venice and Sarasota and those places. You go a little south, you got Boca Grande and Captiva, those spots, and it's a beautiful area down there.
Literally, I agree 100%. When I was growing up and my brother went to Fort Myers, I would just like pray that it would start raining so that we could go like to the Culver's, which was right by the hotel that we stayed at, so I could get ice cream. I was like the worst. I did not want to go to any of the games. I wanted to eat ice cream the entire time.
I love Culver's. I'll tell you, my first time I had Culver's was up in Wisconsin, and I thought that I discovered, I thought I'd struck gold, struck oil, and then they started building down in Florida, and they actually, we got one in Ocala now, back in my hometown. So that's one of my favorite places to get a burger.
Yeah, you can look forward to a nice like butter burger. I don't know what they call them, something like that.
And a custard.
Yes, the custard. That is Jeff's kiss moment. So good. Okay, your MLB team. So being from Florida, like, are we Rays fan, Marlins? Like, who do you associate with?
So, I grew up being a Marlins fan, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say that now. But back when I was really young, 5 or 6 years old, we just had basic cable TV channels. We had 30 or 40 channels. I don't even remember. But one of the channels we had was Fox Sports, and every day they would play the Marlins game. So that's just where I remember, one day flipping through the channels and found a Marlins game and watched it, and I would watch them play every single day. Every day that I could, watch them play, and that was back when they had Miguel Cabrera and Josh Johnson and Dontrelle Willis, Hanley Ramirez, Dan Uggla, those guys, and like I said, every day I'd watch them play, and over the years, there was a lot of disappointment. That they're one of those franchises who, if you take a look at all the star players that started out with the Marlins, I mean, I'll just name a couple. You got Miguel Cabrera, you got Giancarlo Stanton, you got JT Realmuto, Christian Yelich, Marcell Ozuna, all these guys who are superstars and began their career with the Marlins, and they never won anything. Since 2003, never won anything. Made the playoffs in COVID year for like the first time since then, and so it got frustrating. So I gave up on them, and I hopped on the Rays bandwagon. But I mean, they're the closest team to me, so I wouldn't call them bandwagon.
Okay, as long as you're not a Braves bandwagon, that's what I was going to say. Like, please tell me you did not hop on the Braves bandwagon, because I think everybody and their brother that lives in the South has hopped on the Braves bandwagon.
Yeah, and I understand that, because you get really the only teams in the Southeast that we have are the Braves, the Rays, and the Marlins. And the Rays and the Marlins are relatively new franchises. Just in the last, the Marlins, I guess, have been around for 30 years so far, and the Braves 25. I don't know. But I get that, but I see what you're saying. No, especially down here when they get in the playoffs, it's like everyone's a Braves fan now. But no, I would say that I'd call myself a Rays fan now.
Okay, good stuff. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your baseball journey. It's certainly been fun to watch you throughout years at South Carolina, throughout this year, and I'm sure we'll have a lot more to look forward to as well. But again, we appreciate you joining us on this exclusive interview presented by Garnet Trust. Good luck this weekend against Alabama. That series taking place at home. So anybody watching, if you're interested in going, get your tickets now. Watch South Carolina take on the Crimson Tide. Have a great rest of your week, and good luck on finals if you got to take those this week.
Yeah, I got one or two.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrew.
All right. Thank you very much, Kendall.